All right, Yu-Gi-Oh players, we got some brand new Orcust stuff and Gem Knights. I feel like we're going back in time. Maybe we'll get some more Shadals, some Burning Abyss support soon, Kappa. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out some of these brand new cards. There's also Goblin support in here. So for starters, there's some new quarter century box, but the main thing I'm interested in, just like you, is probably the new Orcust stuff. So I want to kick it off with this. So anyways, so this is the Galatea, the Orcust Automation, which is a Link 1 Dark Machine Link Effect monster. So its attack is 0. The Link zones are in the bottom left. And its materials are an Orcust or World Legacy monster. It's like the easiest summon condition ever. You can only link summon Galatea I, the Orcust Automation, once per turn. Cannot be used for material for an Exceed summon, and you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. That other effect is pretty bad, especially if you start off with it. But let's check out the effect. So you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard to add a World Legacy monster or an orchestrated babble from your deck or graveyard turn. That's a pretty good effect, right? And being able to get rid of a card and then add another one. And then if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish another Orcust card from your graveyard to special summon this card. Okay, cool. So then it does have utility outside of it, like us, like when you can maybe bring it back. But I really don't like that it can't be used as material for an Exceed summon. But nonetheless, still a pretty solid card overall. Next up, though, we have the Ililgrisu, the Orcust Mech Knight. Okay, so this is going to be a new boss monster. Looks like it's Link 4 in the top right, middle left, middle right, and bottom left. And it's going to be a 2600 attacker. It's a Dark Machine. And then its materials are 2 monsters, including an Orcust Link monster. Okay, so it's not too bad for summoning conditions. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. So you can target one of your banished Orcust or World Legacy cards and add it to your hand. Then you get to shuffle one card from your hand into the deck to take control of one face-up monster opponent controls. So that's a pretty decent effect. And the second part is during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there from the extra monster on this turn, you can banish it to send one card in the field to the graveyard. So basically you get to go like and get 2 cards off of that. So that could be pretty good. And then on top of that, you get to add another card back here. And so basically that has like 3 different things. I think that this has some decent potential as well. Okay, so that's good news. It's not like meme support. Sometimes when there's like an archetype that's like super good and then like they bring back some support cards that are like just like so mediocre, it's like I don't even want to play it, right? But that is pretty cool. Next up though, we have the what is this coming out? Terminal World 2. So it looks like we're getting maybe some Dirac. I think this is Dirac Fabled. Is that? There's no way there's Ice Barriers, right? I know that's a Gem Knight. What is the other one? I don't know. Maybe we'll see it in here. Anyways, Gem Knights. Oh wait, is that supposed to be Gem Knights? Oh no, the Gem Knights is top right for sure. Anyways, we have the Gem Knight Master Diamond, which is a level 9 Earth Rock Fusion, 3000 attack, 26 defense, and requires 3 gem monsters. It says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is during the main phase, as a quick effect, you send this card to the graveyard. It's supposed to summon up to 3 non-rock gem monsters with different names from your extra deck and or graveyard, ignoring their summoning conditions. Okay. That's a pretty insane effect. And then you can't special monsters from the extra for this turn except for fusion monsters. At least it's not just Gem Knight monsters, but that's still pretty limiting. Anyways, when your Mech Knight fusion monster is destroyed by battle while this card is in your graveyard, you can just special summon this card. Next up, we have the Gem Knight Neprium, which is a light fairy effect with 1550 and 1600. Says you can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is if it's normal or special, you get to add a Gem Knight card from your deck to your hand except for itself. That's pretty good. Oh, this is a bad part. Any effect damage your opponent takes during the main phase from this turn is halved. Oh, okay. That's just effect damage. That's not that bad. I thought I was going to say it for the rest of the turn is halved, but if it's just like during main phase, it's not too bad. Just as dumb in phase, so that would include 2. Anyways, during your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon another gem monster. And if this card is sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you get to send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon the card. Really good stuff. Then we have Gem Knight Hollow Force, which is a level 7 Dark Fiend effect monster, 1950 attack, 2450 defense. Says you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is you can send a Gem Knight normal monster or a Gem Knight fusion from your deck to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand in defense position. When your opponent activates a card or effect and you control a Gem Knight fusion monster, as a quick effect, you can banish 3 Gem Knight cards from your graveyard, including this card, to negate that effect. Then all Gem Knight monsters you control currently gain 1000 attack, so it's 2950, so pretty nice stats. And then we have Gem Knight Dispersion, which is a normal normal spell. And it says activate one of these effects, but you can only use each of the effect of this card's name once per turn. So it is a fusion summon a Gem Knight fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field as material. If you have Gem Knight fusion in your graveyard, you can also use up to 2 non-rock Gem Knight monsters from your deck or extra deck. Then you also get to add a gem monster from your deck or banishment to your hand. Also, any effect damage your opponent takes during the main phase for the rest of this turn is halved. Okay. And then reprints of Tourmaline, Crystal Lapis, Armadillo, Obsidian, Lazuli, Quartz, Rose, Brilliant Rose, Ruby, and like all of them. Basically, they were printing like the whole squad. I just remember when people used to play this in SWORDSMAN, it was like pretty crazy when you get that effect off. Next up, this is also more cards coming out in Supreme Darkness. So starting right off, we have these are the Primite, Another Barrel, which I believe is level 4 one, 1600 attack, Earth, looks like it's level 4. It's an Earth Dragon, and you can only use the second and third effects of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is, if it's normal summon, you get to set a Primite spell/trap from your deck. Second part is you tribute this card to send a normal monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then the third part is during your standby phase, if you have a normal monster in your field or in your graveyard, you get to add this card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so you can constantly re-normal summon it, and then you get to set one, and then tribute it, and then you just go and get another vanilla out. No, it doesn't really have too many restrictions, just being able to send whatever you want. Could be good for some other archetypes. It's more interesting than I thought originally. I thought it was going to be part of some of its own archetype. Next up, we got a counter trap. So the counter trap is called Primite Resounding Reaction, which is a counter trap card that only lets you use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is, if your opponent would normal or special summon a monster or monsters, and you control a normal monster and or a level 5 or higher Primite monster except for a token, you get to negate the summon if you do banish the monster. That's pretty good, negate and banish. And then during your standby phase, if you control a Primite monster, you can set this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Okay, I mean, as long as you get that Imperial, what is it, Iron Wall, you just keep on getting it back every single turn. I think it's a pretty solid effect. The only downside is that you can only use the first and second effects of its name once per turn. Otherwise, I mean, you could just negate everything, go for all of them again. I mean, yeah, it would require Iron Wall, but there's a few other cards that would make it so like they don't get banished, but maybe you can mix it in with something that would get the advantage of having it banished anyways. Next up, more cards in Supreme Darkness over here. What do we got? Is that Flame Swordsman? What is this? So this is, oh, it actually is Flame Swordsman. I was joking. Okay, level 6 Fire Machine, special summon effect monster, 25 attack, 16 defense, that cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned with max metal morph that was activated by tributing a level 5 or higher warrior monster. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. So you can reveal this card in your hand to add one card that mentions max metal morph from your deck to your hand, except for Metal Flame Swordsman. If you do, shuffle this card into the deck. Second part is, each time your opponent activates a card or effect, this card gains 300 attack, and if it does, inflict 500 damage to them. Wait, this effect is not like a once per turn, right? It's just each time they activate a card or an effect. I mean, it gets more and more powerful, and then you also get to burn them. I don't know if you can, like, maybe set it up to where also, not Mystic Walk. I know there's a card like Ectoplasmer, but I think you have to activate that during, like, your end phase or something where it does, like, damage equal to the attack. I don't know. I feel like this card has some potential. I mean, 500 burn damage. You mix this one with, like, what is it, like, Chain Energy? It's like 1,000 per card activation, and most Yu-Gi-Oh turns go through 30 cards. So, I don't know. There could be some potential with this card if you can, like, pull it off and then, like, not let it rip. Could be interesting. Next up, though, we have the Coding or Flame Metamorph is the card, which is probably the trap card. And anyways, it says you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. So you tribute a face-up monster that mentions Max Metamorph to special summon one monster from your deck that cannot be normal summoned or set, and mentions Max Metamorph, ignoring its summoning conditions. Then you can equip this card to its equip card with the effect. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. Okay, I wish it would have been also like it would protect it via targeting, but still, it can kind of protect it. The fact that it also just brings it out could be pretty useful. And then next up, we still also got, this is part 2 of, wow, we got AznEyes, Snake Eyes, and Goblin Biker support. Wow, we got a bunch of extra cards. Okay, cool. One of the cards had a really strange name. I just like briefly saw it. It's probably getting changed. Anyways, Queen of the Azmina, which is a level 8 Dark Illusion effect, 25 2000. And it says that this card is always treated as Sinful Spoils card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. The first part is, if this card is sent to the graveyard or banished from your hand or field by an activated card or effect, you can special summon this card. Second part is, when your Azmina or White Forest monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can target one Sinful Spoils spell/trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Next up, we have the Snake Eyes Damned Dragon. Wow, that's a really cool artwork on this card. So it's a level 8 Fire Dragon Fusion effect monster, and it's 3025, and it requires a Snake Eyes monster and Illusion monster. It must be either fusion summon or special summon by sending 2 face-up monster cards from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard. So that's actually pretty easy. Hey, wait, you can actually make this in Crystal Beast, right? And then you can only use the effect of this card's name when it's returned. So the first part is, if this card is special summon, you target 1 face-up monster on the field, place it face-up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. And then, well, only when this card is summoned. I guess it'd be really cool if you can like surprise fusion for this card, and then you can just be like, okay, and as soon as it gets special summoned, it gets that effect. So maybe you can bring this card back again, because remember, that gets its effect when it's just special summon, not specifically fusion. So there could be a high potential for this card, especially since the summoning condition is literally so easy for like a lot of different things. I'm thinking Crystal Beast. What was that Synchro archetype that let you throw the things in the back row as well? There's probably a lot more though. Anyways, you know, what was it? I don't think you do it with like Silver Sentinel, right? Because I think it's considered like a spell trap. Anyways, there's probably a lot of archetypes that can use that. Anyways, Saint Azmina, which is a brand new level 10 Dark Illusion effect monster, 0 attack, 4k defense, and it's 1 level 6 or higher fusion monster and 1 level 6 or higher synchro monster. So you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first part is, your opponent can't target this card or cards they control. Wait, your opponent cannot target this card, cards they control, and cards in their graveyard and banishment with card effects. Also, they take any battle damage you have taken instead. It's like, we got that reverse like U-Bell and like just a hard like countering. And then if this card was fusion summoned this turn as a quick effect, you can special summon level 9 or lower Azmina monster from your deck or extra deck, and then does it say like ignoring summon condition? It must be fusion or special summon by summoning too. Okay, but maybe you can bring out some other great stuff. Really cool. Next up we have Kick-Ass Goblin Bikers, which is probably going to be changed to Butt Kicking Goblin Bikers for the TCG, but 25 attack, 2k defense, rank 6 Dark Seas, so 25 and 2000, and it's generic over here, so 2 level 6s. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is, you can target face-up monsters your opponent controls up to the number of goblin monsters you control. Attach a material from your monster if you attach those targets to this card as materials. Second part is, during your opponent's turn, as a quick effect, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of goblin excuse monsters you control. Attach 3 materials from your monsters. If you do, send those targets to the graveyard. Okay. I mean, being able to potentially just go bounce back triple could be good, but I think that it's just better to have like just like a quick negate in most circumstances. Next up though, we have Azmina Unleashing, which is a normal trap that's always treated as a white forest card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. So the first part is, target cards on the field up to the number of fusion, synchro monsters, fiend, illusion, and spellcaster you control and in your graveyard, and return them to the hand. Okay. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard to active monster effect, you can set this card. So you get to reset it, and then you get to keep on just recycling stuff. Okay. Anyways, guys, you guys can let me know your thoughts on any of these new Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I gotta actually check out some of the new Mermail stuff. We'll get to it eventually. I've been just playing other games, but we will definitely cover the Mermails eventually soon, because I want to see like gameplay of that genuinely. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn the bell so you don't miss out when we cover new Yu-Gi-Oh cards and drop some more gameplay very soon, TM. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.